I'm a Grealish fan. I love Grealish.
Jack Grealish is great, isn't he?
I love Jack Grealish.
Like,
I'll watch him play.
If he can play with freedom, he's great.
I'd build my team around him.
Yeah.
Jack, give it to Jack. Jack, play. Just play.
Right, Harry, this recipe is putting together something to enjoy whilst watching the World Cup. Right?
Lovely.
It's the ultimate chicken burger. It's super tasty. Takes a little bit of work, but it's not too taxing, and the end results are amazing.
Good.
Now in here, I've got chicken thighs, right? So raw chicken thighs. These are quite big ones.
Yep.
And I've put them in a marinade of buttermilk. Okay. Now the buttermilk, I mean, it all sounds quite complicated, but the buttermilk's got this beautiful kind of acidity to it. And what it does is it helps tenderize the chicken thighs. So when you cook them, they've got that lovely texture to them.
And would you make buttermilk with butter and milk?
No, it's kind of like sour. It's the milk that comes from when you separate butter.
Oh, it's different.
So it's
Okay.
so it's slightly sour.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you've got butter, and when you melt butter, have you seen, when you've done your cooking, and you've melted butter to put in a cake, and at the bottom you've got the little white sediment, that's the buttermilk, essentially.
Okay.
So that's what you've got here,
right.
is this beautiful buttermilk that we're going to sit there. I mean, you could do soured cream if you wanted to, or you could just let Sandra know which one to use.
Okay.
But either way, that lovely acidity helps break the chicken thighs down and give it that wonderful tenderness.
Right.
But you want to give it a coating.
Yep.
So the coating, flour.
Right.
Corn flour. Now this is a really good starch, right? Corn flour. You know, like when you get crispy, kind of like crispy beef in a Chinese. That's because it's dusted in corn flour, and that gives it that amazing kind of texture. Here we got the spices, so we've got some chili powder, some smoked paprika, we got some cumin, we got some ground coriander, we got some onion powder, garlic powder, a pinch of everything, just to give it that lovely flavour. And this is the surprise ingredients: cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
Crushed up cornflakes. Now these are really good for texture, okay?
Right.
So we mix all of this together.
Right.
And you've got that wonderful kind of, it goes that lovely goldeny, bronzy colour. And then, with your other hand, get your boneless chicken thigh. Can you see it's quite a big one, that?
That is,
And we're going to dust it in the coating, all right? Now this coating, I want to make sure you get it in and just kind of massage it all the way in. And you can feel it. It's got that kind of like gnarly little look to it where the cornflakes are sticking on it and giving it that texture. And then I'm going to put that straight into a fryer. And that's set at 170 degrees. We're just going to get a nice bit of colour on it, okay? So the World Cup's starting.
Yep.
What do you make of England's chances?
I think we've got a chance. Tom, I don't look at this World Cup and see any team that jumps out at me as though normally you've got a Germany or a France or, back in the day we had Brazil when they're incredible teams. I think it's wide open. I think if we'll get out the group for sure, and then I think it's going to be the luck of the draw. We get a good draw. Who knows where we finished up in the semi-finals, 4 years ago, and end up with Croatia, who quite easily could have, should have beat really, and looking at the team. So I think we've got great forward players, good, amazing midfield players, young players. Bellingham, I think, is incredible.
Yeah.
Foden, I'm a Grealish fan. I love Grealish.
Jack Grealish is great, isn't he?
I love Jack Grealish. I'll watch him play.
If he can play with freedom, he's
play.
great.
I'll build my team around him.
Yeah.
Jack, give it to Jack. Jack, play. Just play. Go and get the ball, Jack. Make something happen.
So that's what you do different to Gareth Southgate.
I would have him for sure. When I had Joe Cole back in the day as a kid, and, at West Ham, I said to Joe, just get on the ball, Joe. Just go and play. Wherever the ball, go and get the ball. Make us play. Make things happen. I love players like that. And if you've got someone with that talent, then you've got to free him off. Don't ask him to track back with a full-back. You've got other people to do that. Let him get on and do what he can do and win the game for us,
Where do you think our weakness is?
Obviously, it's at the back, really. We're struggling a bit of centre half. Harry Maguire, who I love him, he's a great character, great person and everything. He's just so short of confidence. I worry about Harry. The whole country is waiting for him to make a mistake again and jump all over him again. And he knows that, and it's not a nice feeling. So
that weight must sit heavy
on his shoulders. So Stones, I would imagine, he'll play.
So look,
Oh, look
this
at that.
point, a nice,
Oh, my
crispy,
God.
got that lovely coating on, but I'm going to bake them in the oven now for around about 15 to
how
20
good do
minutes,
they
so they
look?
cook all the way through. And you'll see, I've got 2 in here already done. So you were talking then, Harry, about what you might do slightly different to Gareth Southgate. Being the England manager, is that something that you wish you'd done, you've been a part of?
Yeah, I would love to have done it. I mean, back in the day when I was at Tottenham, you know, I think I was 10 to 1 on to be the next England manager. It was almost like, you know, I got phone calls from people within the FA, from the league managers. Everybody just said it's my job. You know, I even got phone calls, to be honest, from 2 or 3 of England's top players saying, "Harry, we're really looking forward to working with you." You know.
And then what happened?
Well, I don't know. I was managing Tottenham, and the announcement came. I was driving my car, and I was, you know, sort of everything was going as though, yeah, it's only a matter of days before you get announced as a new manager, and it came on, and Roy got the job, Roy Hodgson. So it was great for Roy. You know, he was same age as me and everything, and it was, you know, pinnacle of his career. But yeah, it didn't happen. But I would love to have had a go at it. I would love to. I think we've had some great players over the years without winning anything. I think we've underachieved for so long.
It's one of those jobs, though, isn't it? That it's always a thankless task.
Yeah, and you get slaughtered. You know that. As soon as you take over, they're gonna dig up, you know, something about you, aren't they? You know.
And eventually, at some point, it all ends in tears.
It does, yeah.
Like at some point, as an
Yeah.
England manager,
Yeah.
I suppose as a football manager, at any point, it ends in tears, doesn't it?
Yeah, always, yeah. But, you know, over the years, we've had great managers. Even people like Bobby Robson. People forget Bobby was an amazing football manager. And he got terrible grief from the press in his day.
Yeah.
When he was a manager, you know, people like Graham Taylor was a great man, you know, got destroyed. It's happened to everybody, really, you know.
It feels like it's beginning to happen with Gareth Southgate now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It feels like,
lose a few games and...
We've had 2 incredible tournaments.
Yeah.
He's done very, very well. I mean, I remember, the Euros. I was very fortunate that I was at the semi-final, and honestly, the atmosphere, the energy, it was amazing. What he did with those players was incredible. And now we've got to the point where it's quite easy. I know it's quite a poor run of form going into the World Cup, but, you know, he's being given such a hard time, isn't it?
But that is how it goes, yeah, as you say, Tom. Yeah.
It's the way that it is.
Yeah.
You kind of recognise that that's what you've got to put up with if
You have to put
going
up
to
with
be
it,
England
absolutely,
manager.
yeah. Tom,
Well, it looks great, doesn't it?
Oh,
You
mate.
saw that, it was quite easy, and literally...
Was that Parma ham?
That is, it's come out, a little bit of Parma ham gone into it.
Oh, lovely.
A little bit of a lovely slice of cheese, some pickled gherkins, some lovely pickled cucumbers. You want that acidity to go with it. Another layer of cheese, bit of lettuce through the top, and a pickled chilli on the top of that.
Oh, that is so clever. That is brilliant. Look,
I'll tell you what, we'll give it a little slice if you fancy. Do you fancy a bite?
Yeah.
All right. There you go, my friend.
Oh. That is so good.
That's so good, super tasty.
Oh.
That's one to look out for. What about players? Any players in the World Cup we need to look out for?
I think we know them all. Most of them are here, Tom. You know, you're looking at a lot of the, you know, Belgium. A couple of years ago, they've been everyone's favourites. They've sunk away, haven't they, Sonny?
Yeah.
But De Bruyne is just an amazing player, isn't he? We know all about, you know. But most of the boys, they seem to be playing in England now, so we're going to know an awful lot of players.
What about Portugal?
I think they could be dangerous.
Yeah.
They've got some players, haven't they?
They have.
You know,
that
when
Bruno
you
Fernandes Ronaldo handshake. Did you see that?
It didn't look good yesterday, did it?
No, it didn't look great. So
No.
if there's a bit of disconnect in the camp between those two players. Might be like the Dutch squad. Do you remember, like in the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s, they always used to be going home early. You expect so much from them, and then they argue too much amongst themselves.
Yeah. Be interesting, but
Few injuries in the France squad.
yeah, they're another team that can fall apart, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can have a bust up in the camp, but yeah, very different. I mean, I grew up, Tom, when I played at West Ham. I played with 3 boys who played in the World Cup winning team: Jeff Hurst, Martin Peters, Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
And they were my teammates. That's the team that I played in, and you know, they got £1,000 each for winning the World Cup.
Was that it?
£1,000. And I said to them, what did you, I just said to Bobby, I'd go out with Bobby. Me and Mauro was great pals, you know. What did you do tonight? You won the World Cup, Bob, you know? I said, well, we end up going to this function. You know, all the dignitaries are there, and I think it was in the hotel up the road in Kensington. He said, but the wives weren't allowed in, that to sit in the foyer for about 4 hours while we was in this function. They couldn't come in, the wives weren't invited. So when they went out, I said, what did you do? He said, well, we ended up trying to find somewhere to go. We ended up in Danny LaRue's club, who was a female impersonator back in the day, remember?
Yeah.
So they'd gone there, he said, they found us a table. It was the worst table in the place, we're right next to the toilet. And they just won the World Cup, can you imagine it now?
It would be nothing like that now,
no,
would it?
Imagine.
It would be nothing
and they
like
went
that,
out and they came back to West Ham as though nothing had happened. We all thought, well done lads, we got on with it, nothing. Where we going? Round a Black Lion for a drink after, we all went round the pub or something and had a few beers. And
the hype would be very different now, wouldn't it? But it'd be amazing. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful we won the World Cup? Do you think we're going to do it?
Got a chance. Luck of the draw, get a good draw. Few games, get us through. Who knows?
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and in the meantime, you can have another go at making one of those at home, mate.
Oh my God, that is so good.